Gotta say, I'm just glad that they burned the sign in their marriage ritual there. And it's really cooling off, so you may need to have a little bonfire.
I know, I was looking at the fire they had in the background, and I was like, that looks nice and warm.
Yeah.
And at least over the next couple days, and especially as we get into next weekend, it's definitely going to turn a bit on the chilly side. But you know, it is a little bit closer to average throughout the month of December. I mentioned how we were a little bit on the warm side, but we've kind of ducked back down into the upper teens and lower 20s for temperatures throughout the day. Our high temperatures today got into the mid-20s, a couple of 30s out there, 30 today in Portland, but overall this is right around to just below average. Average high for the coast this time of year is 34 degrees, and it was a little bit on the cloudy side too. We'll get some more sunshine into the forecast over the next couple of days. A couple of snow showers popped up in northern Maine, but elsewhere it was dry throughout the day today, just a little bit on the cloudy side. So low temperatures tonight, those clouds are going to help insulate us just a little bit. So temperatures aren't going to drop as fall as they could overnight tonight, but most of us are going to be in the teens. I think some single digits are possible up in northern Maine, and this is right around average for this time of year, but compared to some of the nights we've had, especially last week and throughout the month of December, it's going to feel a bit colder out there tonight. So now this model overdid it with the sunshine that we saw today. So more clouds overnight tonight will help us insulate our temperatures. And as we get into the day tomorrow, I expect that will be a similar theme. So I think we'll see a little bit more clouds throughout the day on Tuesday. It'll warm up into the mid to upper 30s throughout the midday. And then as we head into Wednesday, it's going to look the same. So over the next couple of days, high pressure is going to be in control. So it's a bit of a boring forecast, but it will be pretty nice out, I would say, especially along the coastline, mostly sunny skies. Up into the northern mountains, could see a little bit more cloud cover up there, but overall still a pretty nice stretch of weather. And then as we get into Wednesday, that's where we do have a bit more cloud cover begin to build in, especially as we get into Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. And that's where we're going to start to have our pattern shift. As we get into Thursday, that's when a cold front is going to start to move through. Now, there isn't going to be a ton of precipitation with this cold front. You can kind of barely see it here Thursday, 4 a.m. going through the northern mountains. And we could see a couple of snow showers, rain showers probably along the coast. But overall, the only thing we're really going to see with this front is a pretty drastic change in temperature. So this storm will phase with the system off the coast, but it's going to do so much too late. So we aren't going to actually get any precipitation from this coastal system. In fact, that will mainly hit the Nova Scotia area. So we're going to stay pretty dry over the next couple of days, with the exception of just a couple of snow showers from that cold front. Now the difference here is once we get into Thursday and into Friday, once that cold front goes through, it's going to be a bit on the breezy side. I think we could get gusts up to, I think 40 in Rangeley might be a little bit high, but I would say gusts into the upper 30s, both throughout the day on Thursday and on Friday as well. So Friday will be on the sunnier side in comparison to Thursday, but it will be a bit breezy out there, so that's just something to keep in mind. And then by the time we get into the weekend, the winds will be out of the north, so it'll be much colder, but they will begin to calm down a bit. So with our marine forecast, seas only 2 feet, winds out of the west gusting to about 20 knots, and water 42 degrees. That is pretty chilly out there. So here's our 7-day forecast. So it's a bit of a boring forecast, I want to say, but that usually means good weather for everybody else. So a couple of rain snow showers possible on Thursday, but I think most of us are going to stay dry. Breezy there on Friday. And the next system we're watching isn't until Sunday, where we do have the chance for some snow, but I don't want to talk too much about it yet, guys, because it's still a long way out and the models don't have a ton of agreement. So give me a couple of days and we'll revisit the weekend storm.
Yeah, in the meantime, it's just good to see some sun icons there.
Yeah, starting out the new year bright.
Thanks, Dana.